Hi, I'm Brent Turner. I'm here with artist Kent Twitchell in his studio. The Venda Museum here in Los Angeles is going to be doing a project in November of 2009. They're going to actually reconstruct the Berlin Wall on the 20th anniversary of its being torn down, and they've invited you to be a part of that project. They'd like you to actually paint on the wall. I'd like to know your thoughts, what it is that you'd like to do, what experiences in life led you to this project, and why you're interested.
For instance, when I was in the Air Force in London in early 60s, and the Berlin Wall began to be put up in 61. My commander-in-chief was President Kennedy, and President Kennedy, of course, gave the famous "I'm a Berliner" speech a couple of years after the Berlin Wall was first erected. Actually, it wasn't a wall yet; it was sort of a fence and with barbed wire and so forth, and gave the famous "I'm a Berliner" speech while I was in the military. And then 2 years before it was taken down, 18 years, I guess, later, President Reagan, who was the commander-in-chief, went to Berlin at the Brandenburg Gate, and quite controversially at the time actually said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And 2 years later it was torn down. And I thought, when I was approached for the project, there was the stipulation that we deal with the Berlin Wall with the erection, the reenactment of a segment of the Berlin Wall in front of the LA County Museum of Art on Wilshire Boulevard in a personal way, the walls in our lives and how it represents, those kinds of things. And I thought, well, gee, it represents to me, having been in the military during that time, during the Cold War, I had a top secret clearance at the time, and I kind of was involved with a lot of things in Europe because I was an artist and had to sort of know these things. I was just a kid and I didn't know what to do with the information, you know, but I took it very seriously. And I thought, yeah, I kind of am the right person to be doing something, but I thought I would take the walls of politics that seem to be getting, you know, stronger and stronger, and that's the theme I would deal with. And I would paint my commander-in-chief, JFK, and above him in some way I am a Berliner, and then paint President Reagan tear down this wall. And they would be painted side by side, as almost like they were brothers. And I really see more of a connection between Kennedy and Reagan than a lot of people probably do. And so I'm going to paint these two, left and right, supposedly Republican and Democrat, with no walls between them, on the wall.
Prior to this project, did you have any intentions at all of doing JFK, of doing Ronald Reagan? Were those things that you had ever been toying with?
It was, when was it? It was in the 70s that her name was Barbara Ahrens, who was the president. She was a German, for German extraction, and we would go back and forth to Germany, and she was the president of the Artists for Economic Action when I was on the board at the time of them, and we talked about me going back and painting something on the Berlin Wall then. And I was very disappointed when, anyway, she went to Germany and just didn't come back. I lost touch with her. But, and I was thinking then of painting President Kennedy on the Berlin Wall at that point in the 70s. And so it was something that I thought about for a long time, and sort of commiserated about having not been able to do it. But, and now with, you know, what was it, in the 80s, when Terry Noir, a French artist who moved to Berlin, started painting his sort of caricatures and funny little creatures on the wall to sort of demystify the wall, which was really the right thing to have done. Hopefully they'll be able to bring him back, and he'll be able to put some things on both sides of what I'm doing. And if not, I would even think, as a tribute to him, to get some of my students from Otis or from some people from USC or somewhere, and to reenact as a monument to Terry these figures, just as he would have done them on both sides of the two presidents.